I look at what I've made and I find myself lacking. I live with a mental illness. I've never spoke about this before. In the past when I have shared, I've not always had the greatest reaction. I can't wait to be done this advent calendar. Like seriously, I can't wait to be done it. Hi friends, welcome back to Hooked and Staped with Lynn. I'm so glad you're here. Today is week 3 already of the Hobbii Advent Calendar. Like week 3, wow. This month is flying by. And I think part of it is because we are opening every week this calendar. So that kind of is making the time go by fast, I think. At least that's how I feel for me. I know when I was little, Christmas sure didn't seem to come this fast. But it's funny how it seems to come faster and faster every year that I'm an adult. I also don't have tea today. I am in the need for a little bit of comfort drink, so I made myself some hot chocolate. Yes, I got some more. It's still a little bit too hot, but oh, the smell is so comforting. But before we open week 3, I just want to pause for a second and share with you all something that's been on my heart a lot, honestly, the last few months. And I touched on this on my other channel, Bucket List Homestead, another shameless plug, this week, but I also wanted to share with you all because many of you aren't on that channel, and I want to be honest with both subscribers from both channels. Okay, here goes. So seeing what other people are making with these advent calendars, how their projects are turning out, it's so much fun to see, but it's also been a negative for me in that it's causing me to compare myself with them. I look at what I've made and I find myself lacking and not doing nearly as well as they are. I live with a mental illness. I've never spoke about this before. This week is the first week I've actually spoke about it on the other channel too. It's not that I'm embarrassed by it by any means, but in the past when I have shared, I've not always had the greatest reaction to my sharing that I have a mental illness. Some days and weeks are heavier than others, and this past week has been one. And partly it's because I have been doing the comparison thing, not just with my crochet, but in other aspects of my life. And when I do that, that definitely makes those hard days and weeks seem even louder. And to be honest, again, in the last video, I actually felt a bit embarrassed because I realized the angle I had my camera, you could see quite the mess I have here in my crochet room, particularly the shelving that's right here beside me. I've actually been doing a little bit of organizing. That's part of the mental illness, is I've been feeling a lot of anxiety because this area has been such a mess the last couple of weeks. It's kind of been like the Christmas wrapping zone and everything's winding up out here kind of thing, which is fine, but I need organization and I need order when I am crocheting, when I'm baking, cooking, filming. I need that, or I just can't function and I just get overwhelmed and just cannot do it. And if I waited for everything to be perfect and neat and orderly, I'd never be able to film any videos. I'd never have time because I'd be constantly trying to keep this house clean. Why am I sharing all this? Well, I'm sharing all this because I know I'm not alone. And when we talk about these things and say them out loud, they lose power. That's what I believe. And I want others to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. This is okay that I'm feeling this way, especially right now with the holidays. They just tend to bring up a whole other ball of wax that can cause a lot of stress and anxiety. What I have learned is crochet doesn't have to be perfect or impressive to be memorable and enjoyable. And one of the reasons I did take up crochet is because I did find it therapeutic. It can be. It can be one of those double-edged swords where if you're like me and lately have been comparing yourself and thinking you're not good enough at it, it can take you down that bad rabbit hole of comparison. But for the most part, I do find it self-soothing. I find it it's a way of being creative, because as I said, I cannot draw or paint or things like that. And fiber arts absolutely are an art. They are. And at the end of the day, I also love making things that are not only pretty, but you can use, you know, they're practical, you can use them, hats, you know, clothing or whatnot, and then even the fun things that maybe you don't have to have. Like, I do like the plushies. I may not like amigurumi, but I like plushies, and to me, they're different. I know they're not, but to me, in my head, they're different. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be grand scale impressive. If you love it and you enjoy it, that's all that matters. And I really need to remind myself that, because this past week has not been a lot of fun. It hasn't. And I'm going to take my fun back, and I'm going to take it back and just let you know that you're not alone, and there are a lot more of us than there aren't that do struggle with mental health issues. And I mean, there's a lot going on in my house too that I don't share. We do have 2 neurodivergent adult children in our home. My husband has PTSD from his time in the military. We have a sick senior dog who caretaking is exhausting. That's emotionally and physically draining, and that certainly has been the last couple of weeks. I'm also not sleeping well because of a lot of that, which also ties in with mental health, and dealing with things on our homestead that have been piling up, and just like, oh, all the snow we had, it has collapsed some of the buildings here. We're still dealing with that ermine, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my chickens. A lot's going on, so it's no wonder, you know. And even though I've had mental health issues for a long time, I'm talking decades, I still will find myself, why do I feel so sad? Why do I feel so anxious? Why am I feeling like this? There doesn't have to be a why. That's the beast of mental illness. There's no reason. And that's what makes it so frustrating and so difficult to deal with some days, because there is no reason. And the should-haves, I should be happy, I shouldn't be sad, I should have all this energy, like everything in my life is going great. That doesn't matter. Mental illness doesn't care. It doesn't care that everything else in your life is going well. It doesn't. And that's the beast of it. And I actually have been doing well for a little bit, but it came out of the blue this last week or two and just said hello and kind of bit me in my butt. So that's all. I'm going to get off that now. So I don't want to make this a depressing video by any means, but I do want to share. And if it helps one person who sees this, then it was worth my nervousness of sharing this all with you. So, okay, I'm going to take a sip of this hot cocoa now because I think it's not boiling. That's so comforting. And we are going to open week 3 of the Hobbii Advent Calendar. I'm going to meet you over at my new space I've set up for filming, for crocheting and opening these things with all of you, and I hope it's a better shot than what I've been getting. Let's go see what's in week 3. Okay, I just checked my email. There's still no email. I have not received an email since week 1 of this Advent Calendar, which honestly I'm a little ticked about. I'm trying not to get upset over it, but we were supposed to have them sent to our email every week, and since week 1, I've not gotten it. So I will have to go hunt it down again and see if I can find it. So, but first, let's open it. I will say it feels a little different than last week, so we'll see what we have. First up, we have something here. Oh my goodness, a yarn holder. That's cool. I've actually been looking at trying one of these, so that's neat. Okay. I think this is more stuffing. Yep. Much more stuffing. And yarn. So we got, this is kind of a orangey brown. Very soft. This is like a lilac purple, very pretty. Some more of that. Is this the same number? 15. So I think this is... I do want to save until end of week 4 what I thought about this, but one of the things I can tell you right now, I hate they have numbers and not colors. All of Hobbii yarn is like that, and I think it's a European thing because a lot of yarns from different parts of the world, especially over in Europe, seem to do that. They don't name the color, they give you a number. I would remember this a lot better if it was a color than a number, and I find that difficult even with the pattern. And then, we got some more glitter gold, which is weird because I have a ton of this left from, of course, I didn't do the full jacket that the stout was supposed to be in, so that's probably why, but we got another roll of that, and I think that's it. We will see about putting this together. Hopefully this is easy. Wow, that is some strong tape. And what is that? Just something to keep. All right, hopefully this is self-explanatory because there's no instructions. Oh, does this go? Aha, goes up like that. And then you can put, I guess, I'm going to need help opening this because there's no way I can, but this would go on here, and then you clip this, and then you hang it from your wrist, and you can, I guess, walk around and crochet. But it's very cute. It's got some cute designs here on the wood. It's just that balsam wood, but very cute. I like that, and I've been wanting to try one. Whether it's something I'll use again, I don't know. We'll find out. And it's certainly only made for this size yarn. Like, this is all it's going to fit on this little thing, but it's cute. Okay, let me go hunt for this pattern and see what we're making this week. It took a few minutes to find again. It's so frustrating having to hunt down this pattern when I'm supposed to be getting it to my email. I think I might email Hobbii and let them know I'm not receiving. I've checked my spam. I've checked like promotion tab. I've searched. I've gone everywhere. It's not showing up. Week 1 keeps showing up when I do a search, but the other two weeks have not shown up. So anyway, I hope the fireplace running is not too annoying here. I didn't see it. I forgot it last week in a video, one of the clips, and I couldn't hear it when I edited it, so I think we might be okay. But it's getting really cold in here. We are cold here today. We're supposed to be below normal for this time of year today, and it's cold. So I turned it off while I was opening a calendar, and it's cooling off in here pretty quick. So I've turned it back on. 2 things about this week's pattern. It's adorable. It is adorable. And I think it might be the first one I'm worried about not finishing by the time you see this coming Saturday, because today is Sunday when we open this. So I try to get it done. I actually have to get it done before Saturday because I have to edit the video and get it out to you. So I technically need to get this done by Friday. And this is the first one I'm worried about not getting done. The good news is, or bad news, however you look at it, I ran out of yarn on Aiden's Christmas present last night. I was rocking and rolling. I thought, I'm going to stay up late, get this done. I ran out of yarn. I have more coming, but until it comes, I can definitely give this my full attention for a while. But I'm a little worried it might not get finished. But here it is. It's called Grayson the Robin. I kind of was hoping it was going to be an owl, you know, winter and all that, because, well, I love owls. But he's pretty cute too. And that's who we're making this week. Pretty adorable. And we do need yarn from previous weeks. So the black, I'm thinking, but and maybe some of the pink. I also, on the deer, I didn't put the cheeks. I didn't like them. I put them on the stout and I still don't like them. I prefer to use actual real blush when I want to blush out my cheeks or something like that. I'm not crazy about them, so I probably won't be adding the cheeks on this one either. And I think that's the first thing you do. So we're going to skip right down to the second, which is make the beak. And we have to use the black color, which is number 37. From the very, very first week. I do have quite a bit of that left, so we're good, and we're not going to need a lot. And I think that's maybe the other colors. We might need the pink again for the wings, but I think that might be it. We'll see. We'll see as we get going. So I got my hot chocolate. I found my hook. I was so worried I couldn't find it, and I actually put it back with all my hooks. So there's a shocker that I actually put them back. And this is the basket I've been using during this. I've had these forever. I've got another small one way up there with my plant that I usually have out for decoration. So, but this has been great. I can carry it from room to room. It holds them perfectly, and I like snowmen. So, okay. How did I do this? This is wrapped around. Okay, of course it is. Mess. Not much I can do with it until I can get what I want to get done in the next couple of weeks in here. It's going to be a mess. So here's real life. finished the beak. That didn't take long. That's very quick. Love that. And I just have to address real quick. One of you had also mentioned it in my last video, and I had seen a few people reference it on the rating, on the comments on this calendar on Hobbii, asking you to rate the calendar or whatnot. And the last time I looked, there were 42 comments about this in particular, about running out of the yarn, and 42 people complaining about it. Many have said that they're not even going to finish these projects, and which is sad that they won't get finished. But as I said, somebody else had mentioned it down below too, that somewhere the artist, her name is not Pika Pow, that's the name of her business. I actually cannot think of her first name right now, but anyway, she had actually mentioned, I guess she addressed this problem, saying that people are supposed to be yarning under, not over, and that uses less yarn. First, I have to say, one, nowhere is that written in the pattern that we should be doing yarn under. And I think if it is true she said that, I have not been able to find where she said that, but where I've seen several people reference it, and then one of you, I just thought I'd bring it up. It's not written, and to just assume that people are going to do that, I think is crazy. I had not even heard of this yarn under until literally just a few weeks ago. I didn't even know this was a thing. I tried it. I hate it. Maybe it's the old, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't like it at all. Don't like it at all. Apparently it's more for amigurumi than anything else in crocheting. But if that's the case, then I think that should have been written in the pattern, and it should have been put in somewhere in the description before you buy it, that if you don't want to run out of this yarn, you need to use the yarn under process for making these. And I wouldn't have bought it if that had been on there. So, yeah. And I'm not going to hold back. I've also been feeling like I've been holding back a bit because I didn't want to offend anyone or upset anyone. This is my opinion on what I feel about this advent calendar. Just mine. Doesn't matter if you love it, that is great. If people are loving it, I think that's wonderful. I'm glad you are. But this is going to be my opinion, and I'm not going to hold back on what I think, because it's my opinion and it's my channel and I'm allowed to have my opinion. So at the end of week 4, I will give all of it, but that's certainly going to be on the top of the list about the yarn under thing being a big negative. So, okay, now we are going to start the head and body. Mentioned how much I hate color change. I hate changing colors, and I don't even hate it that much, but you change it so often with these patterns, and it's not my strong suit. I don't love it, and this has taken me a lot longer than I wanted to, because I have taken this apart 4 times so far. 4 times. I would get to round, where are we? 7, and then have to take it apart. And it's because no matter how many times I tried and I checked my stitch count, it was the right amount of stitches, I could not get around to the same point where I left off with the one color, so I could just pick it up and go again. It wasn't working. I'd have to drag it across, and it was tightening up this. I wish I'd taken video of it so you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, so I have all these little pieces, and I started smartening up after a few rows thinking, Lynn, you better cut those even shorter, because the pattern doesn't count for this, so you're going to end up having a lot of extra that may be not a good idea, because I might run out. That's what I'm trying to say. I might run out. So I started cutting them shorter, and then I just turned it inside out, which is now going to be the right side. I put his eyes in. I've attached his beak. Now, this is the last set of eyes we have, so whatever we're making next week must not be an animal. But I'm pretty sure it's 4. So I don't know if I did not get the right amount of eyes. Luckily, I have lots of safety eyes. I don't know if I have this tiny of a size, but I also did not have a backing for this one. So I'm going to have to go dig through my stash and see if I have one small enough. So I don't know what happened there. But yeah, so when I am done, I will flip it all back. For now, I have to finish the body. I'm going to flip it back out and all this mess, and I will just turn it inside out and tuck them all in. I'm not sewing these all in, not doing it. And I just, obviously there's something wrong with me because I cannot, for the life of me, get that to come back around where I should be able to pick up the yarn and go, and then the next time, and when I end, the next color I start with, the yarn should be waiting there for me. I've never had a crochet project bring me almost to tears like these ones have. Like, it's crazy how frustrated and upset I have gotten over these crazy patterns, but we are going to continue. So that we've got the beak. They want you to sew the cheeks. I'm not doing that. So it looks like I have to keep alternating colors for quite a while. I really thought, because looking at the picture, the body seems to have more of the brown than what they're calling terracotta. But now that I'm looking at it, maybe, yeah, it doesn't look like there should be that much more. So, okay, maybe it's a different color we start here. Oh, it is. It's a new color we start changing. There's going to be so many strings when I'm done here, but good thing we won't see them. This is what I'm talking about. So I just ended with this brown color, and now I have to switch to the terracotta. And I just cut it. It was way over here. Sorry, yeah, way over here where I ended last time. To bring that around, that would not make any sense. And no matter how many times I've taken it apart, I keep winding up with the same thing happening. So obviously it's something wrong with me. I just can't figure out where it goes. So I just am going to have, like I said, I will knot them at least. If I don't sew them in, I'll at least just knot them and then turn it inside out. But it's going to be for me, so nobody will know. I have never had a crochet piece make me so emotional. I ripped it apart again after my last update several times because I noticed the purple that I had to switch to and the terracotta, they weren't lining up. I still can't get it. I can't get it. So this is where we're at. And this is supposed to be purple here too. I thought I adjusted for whatever I was doing wrong, but clearly I didn't. The face I was able to fix for the most part. That's not too bad. I think I did pretty good. But then you look at the purple. This should be over here more. This should be all purple. Do I want to take it apart again and fix it? A little part of me does. Am I going to? Nope. Because Aiden, the yarn I need for the rest of Aiden's Christmas present actually showed up a day early. So it came a few hours ago. So I'm going to stop here just because I'm getting really frustrated with this. And that is not why I crochet. So we're going to put the little robin away. I'm going to work on his Christmas present, and we'll hit it again tomorrow morning. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. I doubt it because there's no way to fix that, but it does have some accessories, so hopefully that will hide it. But I can't wait to be done this advent calendar. Like, seriously, I can't wait to be done it. I finished the robin much sooner than I thought I would. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I liked this one. This was actually a very cute pattern to make, and I had a little more fun making it. Except this yarn. I hope you can see. This yarn, this is what it kept doing to me. Not only while I was crocheting with it, but also when I tried to sew with it. It was awful. And there's a few things you got to sew on this robin. And it just frayed and split. And yeah, was not fun. I was cursing. I was cursing it. So I'm not a fan of the yarn. And there's not great reviews about the yarn. So I'm not alone in feeling that way, which always makes me feel a little bit more, a little bit vindicated, or like, okay, I'm not crazy. Another reason I finished it is because I ordered the wrong color yarn to finish Aiden's Christmas present. It's supposed to be here today. Today is Tuesday. So I finished this robin on Monday. So I got it all done Sunday and Monday. Yeah, I'm surprised too. But yeah, so I could not work on his Christmas present. But last night when I finished the robin and I still wasn't ready to go to bed, I did whip him up a neck warmer because he has lost his and he's really upset about it. So I whipped him up a quick neck warmer to wear just in case I can't get this done in time. I think I'm going to be okay. but we will see. We will see. And the other reason I finished her so early, because I did something yesterday I have not done. I could not tell you how long it's been. I didn't get out of my pajamas yesterday. I took a mental health day. I stayed in my pajamas. I put on my most coziest, comfiest socks I love. I had cups of tea throughout the day, and I just sat and crocheted. That's all I did. And I have to tell you, I feel so much better today. And I should have done it a few days ago. Like, this was definitely, and I tried not to feel guilty about the filming I wanted to get done yesterday and some more of the Christmassy baking I wanted to get done. Because remember, I have 2 channels, so I'm not feeling guilty about not recording yesterday. Does that mean I have a little bit more work to do the next couple of days? Yes. But I needed it. I needed it. And I was able to get that robin done and a second gift for Aiden just in case. And yeah, I have not done that though in so long, where I just stayed all day in my pajamas. And it felt good. So I'll probably be doing it again during this winter, because it was exactly what I needed. I just woke up today feeling so much more energetic and in a better mood, definitely. So yeah, I did enjoy making this one. And of course, as usual, I had to do some modifications because, again, I ran out of yarn. And apparently, one of the reasons they say to do yarn under, nowhere does it say that, by the way, in the patterns. Nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. Is you use less yarn, and B, your colors, when you have to do all the color changes. And oh, friends, the color changes. The color changes are awful. In these patterns, there's so many, and I'm not a fan. I admit it. That's a me thing. That's not the pattern problem. That's a me problem. I don't like color changes, especially with these teeny tiny crochet hooks. They're so small. I find them so hard to work with. It splits when I need to do the color change, so that doesn't help. And my colors are not lining up like they should be. And apparently if you do yarn under, it's much easier to get them to fall into the right pattern, which again makes me feel vindicated, because I'm like, okay, maybe I don't completely suck at this. Maybe it's just I don't use the same technique you were supposed to. I also been reading some things on the designer's Instagram page, because and please, no hate to her. This like, apparently she's been getting an insane amount of hate, and that just makes me angry. I am not at all hating on the designer. Believe me, writing a pattern, I haven't even attempted that yet. I shouldn't say that. I have a video coming out where I am going to share, but it is the simplest pattern in the world, and it's probably not even going to be written all that great, but it's so simple. I don't think it's going to be that hard for you to even need a pattern, but I'll give you one anyway. So you'll actually see that video before you see this video. So I guess I can talk about it. The video that I'm making for you all, it shows how to make gift bags, quick, simple gift bags. It's a great stash buster, and they're fast. Like, I made all of mine in less than a day that I made, and I'm still making some more since that video. It was a very simple pattern. You really don't even need a written one, but I give you one anyway for one size, and then it's up to you to make them bigger if you want. So absolutely, I applaud anyone who can write these patterns and how they even come up with them. Like, how do you know how many single crochets you need to do here and when to switch here? Like, my hat is off to anyone who does that, because, so believe me, I am not hating on that. She said in her comments that she cuts the yarn when she's changing colors, and she just assumed everyone knew that, so she didn't have to put it in the pattern. I mean, maybe that's true, and I certainly did that because it wasn't working out for me any other way, but I still ran out of yarn, even cutting the yarn. I did start cutting it shorter, but then you can't cut it too short because then you can't weave it in, which is why on this I cut them short and just didn't weave them in. I knotted them before I turned it in inside out, I guess, and stuffed it and used the inside for the outside or the outside for the inside, whatever. So yeah, I think I've come to discover that this calendar was just not for me. It just wasn't for me. And it's a little disappointing, but at least I tried it, and you know, it just wasn't for me. That's all I'm going to say. It obviously just wasn't for me. And we do have one more week to go. We'll see how it goes. So I did do some modifications, as I said, on Monsieur, or I guess Mrs. Robin, because of the color changes, and because she was coming out so cute, it bothered me that those color changes weren't lining up right. So I kind of did a few things. I did not have enough color to do the feet, so I had to use a different color feet. I didn't put the cheeks in because, again, like I said, I don't like the circle cheeks What else did I do? I did the scarf a little bit different because I wasn't feeling the pattern for the scarf. Again, no hate to her. And I did the hat totally different. I did not have enough yarn of that at all to make the hat. And I had a lot of yarn. I hope I'm not going to kick myself in the butt because I had a lot of yarn from the very first and second weeks that I used. So hopefully that's not going to hurt me using all that. But hey, if it is, it is. So are you ready to see it? Oops. Oops. She dropped her beret. She does have a pattern for a beret or a hat. And my daughter loved the beret, so we kept the beret. Here she is. We also had to embroider using that gold glitter yarn on the wings, and she has the wings the other way. My daughter really liked them this way, so that's the way I went with it. My embroidery skills, that's something I do want to get better at in 2026, but I don't think I did too bad considering. Her feet are a little floppy, and I'm not seeing anybody else's this floppy, but she says not to stuff them, but it'll be sitting like this anyway on my shelf. As I said, I'll put a picture up here of what it should look like in case you forgot. So you can see it looks nothing like the hat, the beret, and the pattern. And the face color changes, I was able pretty much to keep them lined up. But when it came to the purple part, this is why I made this little skirt. I know, I was trying to make shorts. I couldn't get it to work. So it turned into a skirt, and I don't think it's too bad. I mean, it's just a simple skirt, but it hides my mistake. So I'll show you right here. Oops, and we lost our hat again. As you can see, this was supposed to be all purple too, and I tried to adjust for it, and I adjusted too much to try to get them to line up, and then I realized, uh-oh, that should be purple. So I said, okay, we will just make a little skirt. We will hide that, and you'll never know. And that way it turned out pretty, you know, this way it looks like both the legs are purple because the skirt's hiding the mistake. And this up here, it's not lined up as good as it should be. Like over here looks great, over here not so great. But the scarf hides that, so I'm not too upset. And that's her without the little beret. The little hat was cute too, but I really liked the beret, and so didn't my daughter. So put your beret on. So, week 4 will be out, well, I'll be opening it tomorrow from the day you see this video. I am hoping to get it done before Christmas so I can share it all with you. If not, it might be an after Christmas, an after Advent video, and I can give you my final thoughts on it. It's so cute, but I think she turned out pretty cute. This has been my favorite so far. It was my favorite to do. I liked the shape. I found the pattern easier to follow. It's just that the darn color changes, but I see a lot of people complaining about, oh, there's so many color changes. So again, it makes me feel vindicated that I'm not the only one. That's what I love about plushies. I hardly ever have to color change for them. And it's why I love variegated yarn so much, because you can get a pretty dynamic item without having to color change. But her little pom-pom's probably bigger because I did double strand, so that was the yarn we got. Did we get that week? We got that in week 2 with the deer, so I had a lot left over. I don't have any left, so I hope we don't need any for week 4. Uh-oh, we might. I still have a lot of the gold glitter left because we got another ball of that in this one because it was supposed to be for the scarf, but I didn't use as much for the scarf as she did, so hopefully if I do have to use more, I still have plenty. But oh yeah, and the little tail is just too cute. Again, not 100%. I made the pattern exactly how she said, but we're supposed to have more purple up here, so that's why the tail is purple compared to the body. Honestly, if I'd thought, and if I had enough yarn, maybe, I don't even know if I would have had enough of the brown, I would have just done the whole body all brown, and I think it would have been much cuter. And then just put the scarf on and the hat, and then not even worry about having the different color body. I've seen someone who did that, and it was really sweet. But not too bad. Not too bad. For someone who does not think this calendar is for her, I think she turned out pretty good. So there is the end of week 3 for Advent. One more week. I can't believe how close Christmas is coming. I just can't get over how close it was coming. So thanks for following along with me while we are going through this Advent calendar. You all have been incredibly kind in your comments about my amigurumi projects that I've been sharing with you from this calendar. I appreciate it more than you know. It's When having a rough time like this, it's so wonderful to read nice comments, because sometimes my comments aren't always nice, and I admit I get rid of them, because one, I don't want anyone else being subjected to that kind of hate on my channel, and I don't want any kind of back and forth happening with other people commenting. That's happened before on my other channel, and it's not good for my mental health to leave someone's hateful, definitely when it's personal things about myself. It has nothing to do with what I'm making. If you think my crochet was horrible, that's your opinion and you're allowed to it. But when you come at me personally about things, that's, I think, too far, and I'm not going to leave it up there. So to see all your kind comments has been a much needed blessing in my life. So again, thank you so much. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, friends. We're like this close, and the 31st is still quite a few days away. So maybe we'll make it. Maybe we will see. I also want to thank all of you for hyping out my videos. I personally don't have the hype feature on any of my YouTube. I don't know why. My husband doesn't either. Maybe we don't have it here in Canada yet. I think maybe. I don't know. My kids don't have it either, so that's why we're wondering if it's not available in Canada yet, because I would love to hype up my friends' videos and other YouTubers that I love. So I appreciate all of you who are hyping my videos. Apparently it's working, because I'm climbing pretty darn quick, and YouTube even sends me a little thing saying, wow, look how many subscribers you've gotten in just a few days. So they're taking notice, friends. They're taking notice. We'll see you next week for the end of week 4 of Advent. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.